turn up that volume. There we go. We're live. Hope you guys can hear me properly. All right. Here is your weekly dose of red meat. We are going to be taking a look at Kamala. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name. I've heard people pronounce it Kamala Harris, Kamala. We're going to call her Kamala. Okay, this is a Canadian trying to pronounce Kamala. Well, let's talk about Kamala and her rise to fame as the vice president-elect, I believe it's called in the U.S. I'm going to talk a little bit about politics towards the end because a lot of people like to take sides, and they want me to take sides with them. Like, where's a comment here? Like stuff like this. I'll talk about stuff like this more towards the end, right? But there's always somebody that wants my political views and opinions, so I shall dispense that towards the end once I go through this. All right, let's pull this up here and chuck it up on screen because we have an article that I added to the link below. Now, the interesting thing about this, and I'm approaching this from the rational perspective of how this is being handled. Okay, we've got a woman who is the first, I believe, vice president-elect in the United States. So technically, she should be the next vice president. And there's no articles talking about this topic of her sleeping her way to the top. She had several appointments given to her with an older gentleman she was sleeping with, who was 60 at the time, and she was 29. Oh, man. Does it get any better than that? 4 years ago, was it 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, when Trump was running for president, there was all kinds of stuff in the media about, grab her by the pee, blah, blah, blah. It was all over the media. It was a guy in a locker room that happened to get recorded. Was it a inappropriate comment for somebody running for president? Whatever, you guys decide. But at the end of the day, he was having a private conversation. So let's dive into Kamala Harris's private life a little bit to see how she rose to power. And I find it curious myself watching this unfold in Canada as to why nobody's talking about how she slept her way to the top. Or let's just soften that a little bit. Let's just say she had a little bit of help. She had a lot of help along the way, if we can put it that way. So this is her, in case you don't know who she is and you've lived under a rock the last few weeks or months. Now, again, this article is from 2019. There's nothing current in the media right now, right? Like if I were to, let's pop up here and go Kamala. The first thing that comes up is affair. Harris. I'm just going to leave it blank and hit news and see if there's anything in the news this week. Nothing about the shortcut she took, sleeping her way to the top. This guy, Willie Brown. What was his name? Willie Brown? That gave her several appointments. Nothing. It's completely dismissed. None of the media is talking about it. All right, let's go back over here. So this is an old piece from 2019. And the San Francisco mayor at the time, Willie Brown, addressed his past relationship with Senator Kamala Harris in a letter to a paper, San Francisco Chronicle, acknowledging giving her appointments. So this is a plural. We're not talking about an appointment. We're talking about more than one that furthered her career. Yes, we dated. It was more than 20 years ago, wrote Brown, who said he had been peppered with calls. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Harris did not respond at the time. Brown was married at the time he and Harris dated. Now, he was estranged. So, yes, he was legally married to his wife, Blanche Brown, but they had not been together. So they weren't in a official, sounds like cohabitating type of marriage. So he was out of that, probably separated. But anyway, he was legally married at the time. So he says the relationship was not kept secret. A Sacramento Bee reporter told people that Brown had a succession of girlfriends. So this Willie Brown, the mayor of San Francisco, and would go to a party with his wife on one arm and his girlfriend on another. This guy's a pimp. In 1994, Los Angeles Times report, then California Assembly Speaker Brown's rush to hand out patronage jobs. So this guy, Willie Brown, described Harris as Brown's frequent companion. So they were definitely banging at the time. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any denial of that. They were in a relationship, according to this. And several people refer to her as Brown's girlfriend. Again, she was 29, dude was 60. Now, why do you think, let's just grab our beards here and pet them a little bit and think to ourselves, why do you think a 29-year-old aspiring politician slash lawyer was interested in a 60-year-old? Was it because of Alpha Seed? Was it because he was rock hard? I don't think so. I'm sure there was something else there. Let's keep going. The couple split up in 1995, which flabbergasted those who found Kamala the perfect antidote to whatever Playboy tendency still resided in the mayor-elect's jaunty persona. Although Brown supported Harris in her successful 2003 run for San Francisco. Corrupt allegations, albatross hanging around my neck, career was over. How many times did he get her appointed? Oh, 2 jobs. Here we go. Among the issues that followed Harris from her time with Brown was the allegation of cronyism and an appointment of her 2 well-paying jobs. Yes, I may have influenced her career by appointing her to 2 state commissions when I was an assembly speaker. From 1980 to 1995, this guy definitely had an influence on Kamala Harris's ascension to her position. Twice, in fact. So not just once, but twice. Brown appointed Harris to the California Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board and then the Medical Assistance Commission. So this chick got 2 appointments from her 60-year-old boyfriend. She's 30 years younger than this dude, and she's going for it. Positions that paid her more than $400,000 over 5 years. Is that $400,000 a year? Who wrote this article? You need to clarify that. Or is that $400,000 over the 5 years in total? Seems like it's over the 5 years, so it wouldn't be a huge amount of money. Brown also gave Harris a BMW. Well, 2 jobs in a BMW. Strong, independent woman made it to the top with the help of Willie Brown, her 30-year senior boyfriend. Look at that. And I certainly helped her first race for district. So he's admitting here that he helped her win races for district attorney in San Fran. I helped her career as House. He's also helped the careers of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Oh, God. The difference that Harris is the only one who, after I helped her, sent word. Okay, so this is interesting here. The difference is that Harris is the only one who, after he helped her, sent word that he would be indicted. So this is Willie Harris, her 30-year senior boyfriend, if he so much as jaywalked while she was the DA. That's politics for you. And that's it. Well, I find this interesting as hell. I don't know about you guys, but, she clearly had a lot of help getting to where she got to. I'm sure everybody that ascends to a position of political influence in their lives has some help along the way. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But, when you're banging a guy that's 31 years your senior, who's married with 3 kids, I mean, estranged married, let's just clarify that so it's not confusing. But, to get these appointments, I don't think she earned it on her own or entirely on her own, if we can put it that way. But yeah, that's Kamala Harris and her appointments. There was another article here that I dug up because there was some confusion. And in capacity speaker, Brown appointed her. Yeah, it was 2 political posts. First to the California Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board, then Medical Assistance Commission. What was false about that? Harris had been estranged from his wife for more. So Harris was not with his wife for more than a decade. Yet in that prior article, people were talking about how he would show up at parties with his wife on one arm and his girlfriend on the other. So I don't know. You guys decide what you think of that. She clearly found some beta need there that helped her along the way. He was not Alpha C. There's no doubt about that. There's no 60-year-old man that's rock hard. So he didn't fulfill that part of the hypergamy equation. It was all beta need. All right, let's talk a little bit about politics before we wrap up, because there's always somebody that wants to, bang on about politics and get an opinion. So what did this guy here say? I agree with a lot of your content, but it seems to me that you're just kind of mad that Joe Biden won. I don't know where you stand politically with both sides, but judging from your tweets, I don't know. I don't care, to be honest with you. I think it's entertaining from my perspective that your entire nation, when I say your, I'm talking about Americans, voted for a guy. Like, it's like voting for a guy, and I tweeted about this. Voting for Biden is like knowing you've got a 4-year road trip that you got to take, and you have a selection of a bunch of different vehicles, and you pick the one with, bald tires, 500,000 miles on it. It's barely holding on. It's got a burnt out headlight, a couple of busted taillights, and the brakes barely work. But you want to take that for the 4-year road trip. That's literally what Americans decided to do. And in fact, it's also kind of funny from another perspective that there's dead people voting for Biden against Trump. People hate Trump so much that they came back from the dead and voted against him. I find all of this interesting and fascinating as hell. I don't know about you guys. So here's the thing about politics, guys. Here's the thing about politics. All right. Nobody cares. It does not matter if it's Republican, Democrat. In Canada, we've got many more parties. We've got the Conservative Party, the Liberal Party, the New Democrat Party, the People's Party of Canada, which is a Libertarian Party. We've got all these parties here. You guys have 2 main parties, but everybody's fighting amongst themselves over who's got the bigger D. It's a big D swinging contest is what I see here. And neither one of the two is going to make any difference in the world at the end of the day, in your personal world at the end of the day. So my political views are, I'll restate 2 different positions. Because when did my grandfather die? It was 88 or 9 or so. Anyway, he died a long time ago, but he was about 86 at the time. And I remember him saying when I was real young, we were talking about politics. And he was not a entrepreneur. He was not a capitalist. He was a military guy, worked for the Royal Air Force, did a lot of, hands-on jobs. He was, what the hell were they called? Flying boats, Sunderlands, I think they were called. Was it de Havilland Sunderland? Anyway, the boat was a flying boat called the Sunderland. He did a lot of work around that for many, many years. He was a grunt. Okay, he was basically a aircraft mechanic, and he always said, if you've got the choice between the two, between liberals and conservatives, the conservatives are the ones that are least likely to F up the economy. Okay, so if you have to narrow it down between the two, I'm with Granddad on that, and that's what I would rely on. And it's not because I hate Biden or because I like Trump or any of those things, and those opinions really don't matter. There's some very, very strange people out there that take this shit very, very seriously. They've been sleeping in their MAGA hats for the last 5 years, and there's people that have been, on the other side, manufacturing stories and impeachments and collusions, and all this stuff has been made up over the last 4 years, it seems, to discredit Trump. And then on the other side of the coin, there's all these other things, that are going on with somebody like Kamala, for example, who nobody's saying anything about today that she slept her way to the top or had some help along the way. Let's just water it down a little bit. She definitely had a significant amount of help along the way. What I believe, though, at the end of the day, guys, is in sovereignty. It's it's about control and freedom and just keeping the government and the state out of my life. Okay. It doesn't matter which political party you choose, they're always going to be involved in your life. I don't see any of these political parties saying, you know what, family law is screwed. We need to revamp family law and level the playing field and not make it so hostile towards men. I haven't seen either political party say that, right? I haven't seen anybody talk about anything that matters for the betterment of society. It's always about bigger government, more control, more influence and impact on our individual lives, and less personal freedoms. Is one party better than the other? I'm with Granddad, conservative, right? But at the end of the day, I'm more of a libertarian. When I vote here in Canada, I vote for libertarian policies, low taxes, personal freedoms. That's what I'm after. But unfortunately, nobody, like the candidate here in Canada, what's his name? Max Bernier, I think. I don't even think they got one seat in Parliament, not even one. Everybody voted for Conservative, Liberal, or New Democrat Party here. And it seems like it's the same thing in the state. You guys are divided on Democrat, Republican. At the end of the day, it's the same crap. I put on Instagram the other day. It's like choosing between, do you want to be constipated or to have diarrhea? It's all the same shit. It's just different, whatever, Let me grab this super chat here real quick from Ryan. Ryan says, do you think the tensions with China, Iran might be going to war with Biden as president? Look, I don't follow the news. The news has no impact on my day-to-day life. And I encourage you guys to cancel cable, not follow the news. It doesn't matter. It's you know, if you think that your views, you know, your opinion, arguing about it on Facebook, getting into battles with, you know, the Karens of the world, unfriending people, blocking people, it's like, I've never seen society this divided in my entire life over something that's as silly as politics, you know? And it's again, it's the same shit, just different texture, right? It's all about big government, bigger government over time, more control and less personal freedoms. And if you want my opinion, guys, you should be voting for less of that. Smaller government, more personal freedoms, more sovereignty. That's my view. Joe uses Camilla as a trophy, somebody said here. And of course, we've got losers like this. Oh boy, everybody's so divided over politics. You know, you're either, you know, a Biden guy or you're a Trump guy. It's like, you know what? Stop having your identity attached to an old man that's about to kick the bucket just because he opposes the other candidate because you think he's this, that, or the other thing. You know, a lot of people waste far too much time and energy in politics, in my view. And I really, really think that there's a lot better things you can do with your time than watching everything that goes down on your favorite news media station. They're all skewed in one direction or the other. If you watch Fox News, you're going to get a different story from CNN, right? You watch CNBC, it'll be different from the other guy. It really depends on what it is you want to do with your time. And if you want to hang around, you know, arguing with people about politics and who's got the better leader, I can tell you this, my life isn't going to change, and the lives of many of you guys aren't going to change whether Biden or Trump is leading the country for the next 4 years. It's not going to be that much different. Again, it's like choosing between hard-ass constipation and runny diarrhea. It's all shit at the end of the day. Anyway, that's my take on it, guys. Don't spend too much time, you know, burning through politics and the news and fighting with people and creating enemies and friends based on political divisions. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there are some out to lunch people out there on both sides of the camp. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, there's some whack jobs that have been sleeping in their MAGA hats for 4 years straight. And there's also some whack jobs that constantly bang on and make up stuff about Donald Trump as a president, you know, for the last years. Just get off your high horses, dude. Get off your soapboxes and work on your inner self. That's what you can control. Control the man. This is the mental point of origin story, right? That Rollo created. This is what really matters to men and to masculinity at the end of the day. Anyway, smash the like button, throw a comment below. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm going to jump into the comments later on in a few hours and see what's going on in your guys' head. If you want to support the channel, there's lots of merch there. You can check out the Teespring store, grab some mugs, got t-shirts. Masculinity is so toxic, feminists will cry. This is a nice one to wear. You know, you can wear this off to nice family events. You know, Thanksgiving's coming up. You know, you can piss off a couple of the whack jobs you might have in your family. Have some fun with it. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. I got a bunch of stuff I got to publish this week that I've got pre-recorded. We'll catch up with you real soon. Peace out.